I need your 12 inches, sir, the virgin wife whispered to him at midnight. Hello everyone, before we begin today's story, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our channel's new videos. It's quick, free, and the best way to support us in bringing you more dramatic stories. Your support means the world to us. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the main character. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where everything felt uncertain, like the world was against you? That's exactly how Emma felt tonight. She entered the warm, cozy restaurant, but her nerves were frayed. She could barely focus on the soft hum of conversation, the clinking silverware, or the soft lighting that bathed the place in a warm glow. She had promised Jenny she would go through with this blind date, but the truth was, she didn't belong here. Emma's dress was secondhand, her shoes scuffed, and her hands trembled slightly as she clutched her phone. She took a deep breath and adjusted her dress, repeating to herself, I've got this. I've got this. Her eye scanned the room, her heart racing. Table 7, she murmured, trying to calm herself. Her gaze landed on a man sitting alone at the back. He was sharply dressed, his dark hair neatly styled, his eyes glued to his phone. That's got to be him, she thought. Taking a deep breath, she forced a smile and walked toward him. As she approached, she could feel her nerves take over. Hi, you must be Kevin, she said, her voice shaking slightly as she extended her hand. The man looked up, blinking in surprise. His gaze was momentarily confused, but his expression quickly turned warm. Hi Emma, he said, a little disoriented. She took this as shyness and slid into the seat across from him, her hands fidgeting nervously in her lap. Oh, I know this is awkward, blind dates are weird, right? Jenny told me you might be a little quiet, so don't worry, I can talk enough for both of us. The man paused for a moment, clearly unsure whether to correct her, but then decided against it. He glanced at his phone, a text from his business associate cancelling their meeting. There was something about Emma's earnest smile that made him hesitate. Right. Blind dates are something else, he said, offering a small, polite smile. Emma, relieved by his acceptance, laughed nervously. Tell me about it. Jenny's been trying to set me up for months, but I've been so busy with work. She took a sip of water, trying to calm her nerves. So, what do you do? She asked, hoping to fill the silence. He hesitated, his gaze shifting slightly. I work in tech, he said, his answer vague. Tech? That's cool, Emma said brightly. Like coding and apps and stuff? I'm terrible with computers. Liam, surprised by her straightforwardness, smiled. Something like that, he said, leaning back in his chair. Despite the initial awkwardness, Emma's candidness felt refreshing to him. She wasn't like the polished socialites he usually interacted with. As the conversation flowed, Emma shared stories about her shifts at the diner, the struggle of paying bills, and her dream of one day opening her own art studio. Liam found himself laughing more than he had in months. Her energy was infectious. You're not what I expected, Emma said suddenly, her voice thoughtful. Liam raised an eyebrow. What do you mean, he asked, intrigued. Well, Jenny said you were reserved, Emma said, her cheeks flushing. But you're easy to talk to. Liam chuckled softly. You're easy to talk to too, he said, his smile widening. Emma beamed, her nerves starting to fade. They were about to continue talking when her phone buzzed. She looked down at the message, and her heart sank. Hey Emma, where are you? I'm at table 7, looking forward to meeting you, Kevin. Emma froze. She looked up at Liam, the color draining from her face. You're not Kevin, are you? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Liam's smile faltered, and guilt flashed in his eyes. No, I'm not. Asterisk Emma stood abruptly, mortified. Asterisk oh my God, I'm so sorry. I sat at the wrong table. This is so embarrassing. Asterisk without another word, she grabbed her coat and bolted for the door, her face flushed with embarrassment. Liam watched her leave, a strange mixture of regret and curiosity swirling inside him. He had meant to correct her from the start, but now he found himself wondering if he would ever see her again. And why the thought of never seeing her again bothered him so much. Later that night, Liam sat in his penthouse, the glittering New York skyline outside his window. The hum of the city usually comforted him, but tonight his mind was elsewhere. He replayed the conversation with Emma in his head. She was nothing like the women he usually encountered, calculating, driven by wealth and status. Emma had been open, genuine, and vulnerable. She hadn't seen him as anything more than just another person, and that had made her honesty feel more real. For the first time in a long time, he felt an unexpected connection to someone. He sat back, staring out at the city, wondering how he could see her again. I understand it all now. That night, Emma couldn't shake off the embarrassment. She had walked out of the restaurant without even looking back, and every step she took felt heavier than the last. Asterisk I made such a fool of myself. Asterisk, she kept thinking. Her phone buzzed again with a message from Jenny. Asterisk how did it go? Did you like him? Asterisk Emma sighed and typed back. Asterisk I sat at the wrong table. He wasn't Kevin. I ran away. The end. Asterisk she dropped her phone on the couch, leaning back, her face buried in the cushions. She didn't want to admit it, but she kept thinking about Liam. There was something about him. He wasn't like the other men she'd met before, polished, distant, calculating. He was kind, real, and even though they hadn't spoken much, Emma felt a strange connection. It wasn't love, of course, but it was something she hadn't experienced before. Asterisk maybe I was just too nervous. Asterisk, she reasoned, but the thought of him lingered. The next day, she was back at work at the diner, her mind a mess. She served customers with a smile, but inside, her thoughts kept drifting back to the man who wasn't Kevin. Just as she was wiping down a table, her phone buzzed. She looked down, and her heart skipped a beat. It was a message from an unknown number. Asterisk hey Emma, it's Liam. I was the guy you thought was Kevin. I know it was a mix-up, but I'd really like to meet you again. Coffee, maybe. Asterisk Emma's eyes widened. She stared at the screen for a moment, trying to process it. Was this real? She quickly typed back, Asterisk you really want to meet me again after I ran off like that? Asterisk the message was read, but no reply came. She felt a strange mix of excitement and nervousness. Asterisk what if this is just a joke? Asterisk she wondered. But deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was real, and maybe it was the opportunity to fix the awkwardness she'd caused. Liam was persistent, and the next day, she received another message from him. Asterisk no joke. I think you're worth a second chance. Asterisk Emma couldn't help but smile at the text. Asterisk okay. Coffee sounds nice. Asterisk she replied, heart racing. Later that afternoon, she met him at a small cafe tucked away from the busy streets. The moment she stepped inside, she saw him sitting by the window, casually dressed in jeans and a grey sweater. He looked different, more approachable than the sharp-dressed man from the night before. He stood up when she entered, a smile on his face. Asterisk hey, thanks for agreeing to this, asterisk he said, gesturing to the chair across from him. Emma felt her nervousness ease as she sat down. No problem, she said, giving him a shy smile. Asterisk I thought you'd never speak to me again after last night. Asterisk she added, trying to make light of the situation. Liam chuckled softly. Asterisk I almost didn't. But there was something about you, about the way you were so real. You're not like the others. Asterisk Emma blinked, not expecting him to say something like that. She looked down at her coffee, a smile tugging at her lips. Asterisk I'm just a waitress. Nothing special. Asterisk Liam leaned forward slightly, his gaze focused on her. Asterisk I don't think you understand. That's exactly what I like about you. You're genuine. Emma wasn't sure how to respond, so she just took a sip of her coffee. They talked about everything and nothing, the weather, her dreams of opening an art studio, and his work in tech, though he still didn't go into much detail. It felt natural, easy. As the conversation went on, Emma started to feel more comfortable. She found herself opening up to him in a way she hadn't with anyone in a long time. It was as though the awkwardness of the previous night had never happened. They were two people, connecting over small talk and the shared experience of being real with each other. When they finished their coffee, Liam walked her to the door. I'm really glad you agreed to meet me, he said, his eyes sincere. I think there's more to you than you let on. Emma smiled, her cheeks flushing slightly. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm more than just a waitress after all. He gave her a small, knowing smile. I think so. As she stepped out onto the street, she couldn't help but feel a sense of warmth. She wasn't sure what was going to happen next, but she knew one thing for sure, there was something special about Liam. And she was ready to see where this unexpected connection might lead. It had been a few days since Emma and Liam's coffee date, and Emma found herself thinking about him more than she expected. She hadn't been able to get rid of the lingering feeling that their conversation had been more than just a simple meet-up. There was something about him that made her want to know more, something that made her feel like she was more than just the waitress she saw in the mirror every day. She wasn't sure if it was the way he listened to her, the way he seemed to genuinely care about what she had to say, or the way he smiled that made her heart race a little faster. But whatever it was there, and she couldn't ignore it. The following week, they met again, this time at an art gallery she had been meaning to visit for a while. Emma had mentioned her passion for art during their coffee date, and Liam, always the listener, had remembered. He suggested they go together, as he was curious to learn more about the pieces that had captivated her for years. As they walked through the gallery, Emma could feel herself becoming more comfortable around him. They moved from one exhibit to the next, discussing everything from abstract pieces to portraits. Liam was surprisingly knowledgeable, asking questions that showed he had paid attention to what she said about her art dreams. She found herself opening up more to him, telling him about her aspirations of one day having her own studio and gallery space where she could showcase her work. You've got big dreams, Liam said, his voice sincere as they stood in front of a vibrant painting that Emma had always admired. I think you'll get there, Emma. You have the talent, the passion. I can see it in the way you talk about your art. Emma smiled, feeling a warmth in her chest. It wasn't just his words, though they were kind, but it was the way he spoke them, with such confidence, that made her believe him. I don't know, Liam, she replied, looking down at the painting. It's just hard, you know? Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever make it. He turned to her, his expression thoughtful. It's not easy, but I've learned that nothing worth having comes without effort. And you have something special. You'll make it if you keep going. His words settled in her mind, and for the first time in a long time, she felt like someone truly believed in her. Later that evening, as they sat down for dinner, Emma was surprised by how much they had in common. They both enjoyed simple meals, nothing extravagant, just good food and meaningful conversation. As they ate, Emma found herself laughing more freely, her nerves completely gone. The more she got to know Liam, the more she realized that he wasn't just some tech millionaire or business mogul. He was kind, thoughtful, and down-to-earth. He had a way of making her feel seen, like she mattered, and for once, she didn't feel like she had to pretend to be someone else. I'm glad we did this, Liam said as they finished their meal. I feel like I've learned so much more about you. You're not just the girl I met at the restaurant. You're someone really special. Emma's heart skipped a beat. His words made her cheeks flush, but she didn't shy away from the compliment. Thank you, she said softly. I've enjoyed getting to know you, too. The night ended with a walk through the quiet streets of the city, the cool air brushing against their faces. They talked about their lives, their pasts, and their hopes for the future. It was the kind of conversation that felt natural, like they had known each other for years, not just a few days. As they reached the corner near her apartment, Liam stopped and turned to her. I know it's been quick, but I want you to know that I'm really glad we met, Emma. I think we could have something special, if you're open to it. Emma looked up at him, feeling a flutter in her stomach. She had been so focused on the idea that nothing good ever came from blind dates or awkward mistakes, but with Liam, everything felt different. I'm open to it, she replied, her voice steady, though her heart raced. I think we could have something special, too. Liam smiled, his eyes warm as he leaned in to kiss her on the cheek. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, he said, his voice soft. As she watched him walk away, Emma couldn't help but feel a sense of hope rise within her. For the first time in a long time, she felt like she was finally on the right path. Maybe, just maybe, she was about to take a chance on something real. As the days passed, Emma couldn't help but feel a growing connection to Liam. Their meetings became more frequent, and each time they spent together seemed to draw them closer. They continued to meet at small cafes, art galleries, and quiet parks, sharing stories and enjoying each other's company. Emma couldn't remember the last time she had felt this at ease with someone. There was a warmth in her chest every time she saw him, a comfort she hadn't known she needed. But even though she felt something real between them, a part of her hesitated. She had been hurt before, and opening her heart again felt like a risk. She wasn't sure if Liam felt the same way, or if he was just being kind. She tried to push the doubts aside, but they lingered in the back of her mind, like an echo she couldn't shake. That evening, they sat together at their favorite park, the warm breeze of early summer brushing against their skin as they shared a quiet moment. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over everything. Emma had her sketchbook with her, and she was absently drawing the trees in front of them. Liam was watching her, his gaze soft and thoughtful. You know, I think you could make a living out of this, he said, his voice casual. Emma looked up from her sketchbook, surprised. What do you mean? She asked. Your art, Liam replied, his eyes sincere. You have real talent, Emma. I've seen the way you talk about it. The way you bring it to life when you draw. I think you could do something amazing with it. Emma felt a flush rise to her cheeks. I don't know, she said quietly, her fingers nervously tracing the edge of the page. I've always wanted to open my own studio, but it just feels like a dream. I don't think I'm good enough for something like that. Liam shook his head, his expression serious. I disagree. I've seen enough to know that you have what it takes. You just need to believe in yourself as much as I believe in you. His words took her by surprise. She didn't know how to respond, so she just stared at him, feeling a mixture of gratitude and uncertainty. He was so sure of her, and for the first time in a long time, Emma wasn't sure if she was ready to accept it. But as they sat there, the silence between them felt comfortable, and Emma found herself wondering if maybe, just maybe, she could believe in herself the way Liam believed in her. Later that evening, as they said goodbye outside her apartment, Liam reached out and took her hand in his. I know you're scared, he said gently, but you don't have to do this alone. I'm here for you, Emma. The words were simple, but they hit her like a wave. She hadn't realized how much she needed to hear them. It was as though a weight had been lifted from her shoulders, and for the first time, she felt like she didn't have to carry the burden of doubt by herself. Thank you, she whispered, her voice barely audible. I don't know what to say. Liam smiled warmly. You don't have to say anything. Just know that I'm here, no matter what. As she watched him walk away, Emma stood there for a moment, her heart racing. She felt something shifting inside her, like a door opening. Maybe it was the fear of the unknown that had kept her from taking a chance before, but now, she was beginning to see that taking that step wasn't as scary as she had thought. The next few days passed in a blur, but Emma couldn't stop thinking about Liam. He had made her feel seen in a way that she hadn't felt in years. His belief in her made her question the limits she had placed on herself, and she began to wonder if maybe it was time to stop holding back. That weekend, she received an unexpected invitation from Liam. There's a charity event this Saturday, and I'd love for you to join me. I think it could be a great opportunity for you to meet some people who could help you with your art. What do you say? Emma hesitated for a moment, uncertainty creeping in. A charity event? She asked. I don't know anyone there. What if I don't belong? Liam's reply was simple but confident. You belong wherever you want to belong, Emma. And I want you there. She didn't know what it was about his words, but something inside her clicked. Maybe this was the chance she had been waiting for. Maybe this was the moment she could start believing in herself, just as Liam had believed in her from the beginning. Okay, she replied, her heart racing. I'll go. I trust you. When the night of the event arrived, Emma felt a mix of excitement and nerves. She was in a beautiful dress that she had borrowed from her friend Jenny, and as she stepped into the venue, she couldn't help but feel out of place. The room was filled with people in elegant suits and gowns, all chatting and laughing, looking completely at ease. But then she spotted Liam across the room, standing by a table and scanning the crowd. The moment their eyes met, he smiled, and the weight of the world seemed to lift off her shoulders. He walked over to her, his presence reassuring. You look incredible, he said, his voice soft. Emma smiled back, feeling a warmth spread through her. Thanks, she said, feeling more at ease now that he was there with her. I still feel a little out of place, though. Liam shook his head, his smile widening. You're exactly where you belong. The night went by in a blur of conversation, laughter, and new connections. Emma spoke with several people, some of whom showed interest in her art, and for the first time, she felt like she was being taken seriously. As the event came to a close, Liam turned to her, a look of admiration in his eyes. You did great tonight, Emma. I'm proud of you. His words hit her harder than she expected, and as they stood there, she realized something. She had taken the first step, and for the first time, it felt like the right one. The days following the charity event felt like a whirlwind for Emma. She was still riding the high of meeting new people who actually showed interest in her art, and the words Liam had said to her echoed in her mind. You did great tonight. I'm proud of you. It was a simple statement, but it had meant so much to her. For so long, she had doubted her talent, her worth, and now, she was starting to believe in herself, just as Liam had believed in her all along. She couldn't deny the connection she felt with him. Every moment they spent together felt natural, easy, like they had known each other for years. And yet, a part of her still hesitated. She wasn't sure if it was because she was afraid of getting hurt or if she was afraid of how much she was starting to care about him. Emma had spent so much of her life building walls around herself, trying to protect her heart, but with Liam, those walls were slowly starting to crumble. That Saturday afternoon, she was sitting in her apartment, sketching in her notebook when her phone buzzed. She picked it up and smiled when she saw it was a message from Liam. I have a surprise for you tonight. Meet me at the art gallery at 7 p.m. Don't be late. Emma's heart skipped a beat. She hadn't expected a surprise, but a part of her was thrilled. She quickly texted back, what's the surprise? But he didn't respond. Instead, he just sent a winking emoji and signed off. I guess I'll just have to wait, she thought, her curiosity growing. As the evening approached, Emma couldn't help but feel a mixture of excitement and nerves. She quickly got ready, choosing a simple but elegant dress that made her feel confident. When she arrived at the gallery, she could see Liam standing by the entrance, a warm smile on his face as he waved her over. You made it. Asterisk, he said as she walked up to him. Asterisk, I've been looking forward to this all week. Asterisk, Emma smiled, trying to hide the butterflies in her stomach. Asterisk, what's the surprise? Asterisk, she asked, eager to find out. Liam led her inside, and Emma was immediately struck by how different the gallery looked compared to the last time she had visited. The walls were lined with her artwork, each piece carefully displayed and framed. Her heart skipped a beat as she looked around in disbelief. Asterisk, Liam. What is this? Asterisk, she whispered, her eyes wide. Asterisk, I wanted to show you how much I believe in you. Asterisk, he said softly, his voice filled with warmth. Asterisk, you've worked so hard, and I think it's time for you to have your own exhibition. Asterisk, Emma's breath caught in her throat. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Asterisk, this is all my work? Asterisk, she asked, still in shock. Liam nodded, a proud smile on his face. Asterisk, every piece. I reached out to some people, and they helped me put this together. I want you to know that I'm here for you, every step of the way. Asterisk, tears sprang to Emma's eyes as she looked around at the paintings that had been the result of so many long nights and hard work. For the first time, she felt like all of her effort had truly paid off. Asterisk, I don't even know what to say. Asterisk, she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. Liam gently placed his hand on her shoulder. Asterisk, you don't have to say anything. I just want you to see how amazing you are. This is just the beginning, Emma. Asterisk, as they walked through the gallery, Emma couldn't stop smiling. She felt proud of herself, but more than that, she felt a deep sense of gratitude toward Liam. His belief in her had changed everything. She had always dreamed of having her own art show, but she had never imagined it happening like this. And yet, here she was, surrounded by the work she had created, with Liam by her side, supporting her in ways she never thought possible. Later that evening, as the event continued, Emma spoke with several people who showed genuine interest in her art. It was surreal to think that just a few months ago, she had been waiting tables and struggling to make ends meet. Now, she was standing in a gallery, her work on display, and people were admiring what she had created. It was a dream come true, and she knew it wouldn't have been possible without Liam's encouragement and support. As the night came to a close, Liam walked her out of the gallery, the cool night air filling their lungs. Asterisk, I hope you realize how incredible you are. Asterisk, he said, his voice soft but firm. Asterisk, you've worked so hard to get here, and now you have everything you need to make your dreams come true. Asterisk, Emma looked up at him, her heart swelling with gratitude. Asterisk, I don't think I could have done it without you. Asterisk, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Liam smiled, his eyes warm. Asterisk, you could have. You just needed someone to remind you of what you're capable of. Asterisk, as they stood there, under the soft glow of the streetlights, Emma felt a sense of peace she had never known before. She was starting to believe in herself, and with Liam by her side, she knew there was nothing she couldn't accomplish. The weeks following the art gallery exhibition were nothing short of a dream for Emma. She could hardly believe how much her life had changed in such a short time. The exposure from the gallery show had brought her new opportunities, more commissions, a few private collectors interested in her work, and even a feature in a local art magazine. She could feel her confidence growing with every passing day, and yet, as amazing as everything was, a part of her still felt like she was walking on unstable ground. It was hard to shake the lingering fear that maybe this was all just a fluke, that she wasn't really ready for the success that was beginning to come her way. Liam noticed the subtle shift in her. He could see the way she smiled more easily now, the way she spoke more confidently about her art, but there were moments when the doubt crept back into her eyes. He understood, of course. He had seen it in her from the beginning, the way she had held herself back, the way she had been afraid to believe in her own potential. But now, he saw something different in her. She wasn't the same woman who had walked into the cafe weeks ago, unsure of herself and hesitant to dream. No, Emma had grown. And he couldn't help but be proud of her. One evening, after a long day of work, Liam invited Emma to dinner at a quiet rooftop restaurant with a view of the city. They had been spending a lot of time together lately, and though their connection had deepened, Emma still wasn't sure where they stood. She hadn't quite figured out how she felt about Liam, but what she did know was that he had been a constant source of support and encouragement, and she couldn't imagine her life without him in it. When they arrived at the rooftop, Emma was struck by the beauty of the city lights twinkling below them. The atmosphere was calm, and the night air was warm, a perfect contrast to the hectic pace of the last few weeks. As they sat down, Liam gave her a soft smile. I've been wanting to talk to you about something, he said, his tone serious but warm. Emma looked at him, her curiosity piqued. What's on your mind? He took a deep breath, his gaze never leaving hers. I know we've been getting closer, and I wanted to say that I really admire you, Emma. Not just for your art, but for who you are. You've been through a lot, and yet you still manage to be so kind, so driven. I've been thinking a lot about us, and I want you to know that I'm here for you. In every way. Emma's heart raced as his words sank in. She had always appreciated how patient and thoughtful Liam was, but hearing him say this, seeing the sincerity in his eyes, made her realize how much he truly cared for her. She wasn't sure what to say at first, the weight of his words catching her off guard. I don't know what to say, she finally whispered, her voice soft. I've been feeling the same way, but I guess I'm scared. Scared that I might not be enough, scared of what this could mean. Liam reached across the table and took her hand in his. His touch was warm and reassuring. You're more than enough, Emma, he said gently. You've already shown me so much strength, and I don't need anything else from you but the real you. I know things have moved fast, but I'm willing to take this one step at a time with you. There's no pressure. I just want to see where this can go, together. Emma looked at him, her mind racing. She had never been one to open up easily, to let her guard down, but something about Liam made her feel safe. She had always been afraid of letting someone too close, afraid of being vulnerable, but with him, it felt different. She felt like she could finally breathe. I think I'm ready, she said, her voice trembling slightly. Ready to see where this goes. Liam's eye softened as a smile spread across his face. He squeezed her hand gently. That's all I need to hear, he said, his voice full of warmth. The rest of the evening passed in a blur of laughter and shared stories. They talked about everything, from their childhoods to their dreams for the future, and as the night drew to a close, Emma felt a sense of peace she hadn't known she needed. She realized that she didn't have to have everything figured out right away. She didn't need to know all the answers. All she needed to do was take it one step at a time, and with Liam by her side, she felt like she could handle whatever came her way. As they stood together on the rooftop, the city lights shining brightly in the distance, Liam leaned in and kissed her softly on the cheek. I'm glad we're doing this, Emma, he whispered, his breath warm against her skin. I'm glad I found you. Emma smiled, her heart full. For the first time in a long time, she wasn't afraid of what the future held. With Liam, she felt like anything was possible. The weeks that followed were filled with new beginnings for Emma and Liam. Their relationship had blossomed, growing deeper with each passing day. Emma had never expected to find someone who understood her so completely, someone who believed in her before she even fully believed in herself. Liam had become her support, her confidant, and she found herself falling for him in ways she hadn't anticipated. She still had her doubts, of course, but the more time they spent together, the more she realized that the future they were building together didn't feel like something she had to force, it felt natural, like it was meant to be. One evening, as they sat together at their favorite cafe, Emma looked across the table at Liam, her heart swelling with emotion she didn't always know how to express. I've been thinking, she said quietly, her voice almost hesitant. Liam looked at her, his expression soft and open. About what? He asked, leaning forward slightly. Emma took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. About everything. About my art, my dreams, and about us, she said, her gaze locking with his. I never thought I could have something like this. You've helped me realize that I'm capable of more than I ever thought possible. Liam's smile grew wider, and he reached out, taking her hand in his. You've always been capable, Emma, he said, his voice warm and steady. I'm just glad you're starting to see that. I've watched you grow in ways that make me proud. You're doing something that makes you happy, and that's all that matters to me. Emma smiled back, feeling a sense of peace wash over her. I don't know what I would have done without you, she admitted, squeezing his hand. You've been there for me when I needed it most, and I don't think I could ever thank you enough for that. Liam's eyes softened, and he gently brushed a strand of hair from her face. You don't need to thank me. I'm here because I want to be here. I care about you, Emma, and I'm not going anywhere. Those words, so simple but so profound, made Emma's heart skip a beat. She had always been afraid of letting herself rely on someone else, but with Liam, she was beginning to understand that it was okay to let go, to trust someone, and to believe in love. Their connection was undeniable, and as they continued to talk, Emma felt like everything in her life was falling into place. She had found something real, something she hadn't thought possible just months before. As the night wore on, they decided to take a walk through the city streets, their hands intertwined. The cool night air felt refreshing, and the city was alive with the hum of activity all around them. Liam made her laugh with a silly story about a business meeting gone wrong, and for the first time in a long time, Emma felt completely at ease, as though all the weight she had been carrying had melted away. As they reached the park near Emma's apartment, they stopped for a moment to catch their breath. The moon hung low in the sky, casting a soft glow over everything. Liam turned to her, his expression serious but gentle. I need to tell you something, Emma, he said quietly. Emma looked up at him, her heart racing. What is it? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Liam took a deep breath, as though preparing for something important. I don't want you to feel pressured or anything, he said, his eyes searching hers. But I need you to know that I'm in this for the long haul. I care about you more than you know, and I want to be with you, not just now, but for the future. I can see a life with you, Emma. Emma's breath caught in her throat. His words were everything she had hoped to hear, and yet, she found herself frozen, unsure of how to respond. She had never imagined someone like Liam, someone so kind, so steady, and so sure of what he wanted, would feel that way about her. Liam, she started, her voice trembling, I don't know what to say. I've been so afraid of opening up, afraid of getting hurt again. But what we have feels different. It feels real, and for the first time, I'm not so scared to take a chance. Liam smiled, his hand gently squeezing hers. You don't have to say anything if you're not ready, Emma. I just want you to know that I'm here. And I'll be here, no matter what. As Emma looked up at him, her heart full, she realized that the doubts she had carried for so long were beginning to fade. She wasn't afraid anymore. She had found someone who truly cared for her, someone who believed in her, and someone she could imagine a future with. With Liam by her side, Emma knew that anything was possible. As they stood in the quiet park, the city lights twinkling around them, Emma felt a sense of certainty she hadn't known in years. This was just the beginning of their journey together, and she was ready to see where it would take them. In the weeks that followed, Emma's life continued to change in ways she never expected. She had started to believe in herself, to believe in her art, and most importantly, she had started to believe in Liam. Their relationship had deepened, evolving from simple friendship to something more. Each day they spent together brought them closer, and Emma found herself falling for him more with each passing moment. She had been so afraid of opening up before, but now, with Liam by her side, she felt like she was finally becoming the person she had always wanted to be. Their days were filled with laughter, shared dreams, and moments of quiet intimacy. But even as things seemed perfect, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that there was something she still didn't know about Liam. He had been open with her about his career, his goals, and his past, but there were times when Emma sensed there was something he was keeping to himself. It wasn't that he was secretive, but there were moments when he seemed distant, like his mind was elsewhere. One evening, after another wonderful day spent together, Liam suggested they take a trip to the countryside for the weekend. Emma loved the idea, excited by the prospect of getting away from the city and spending some quiet time with him. They packed their bags and drove out of town, the open road stretching before them as they made their way toward a small cabin Liam had rented. It was a beautiful spot, nestled in a quiet valley surrounded by trees and rolling hills. The moment they arrived, Emma was struck by the serenity of the place. It felt like a world away from the bustling city, and she immediately felt at peace. As the sun set, casting a soft glow over the landscape, they sat outside on the porch, enjoying the crisp evening air. Emma leaned her head against Liam's shoulder, savoring the moment. This place is amazing, she said softly, her voice full of contentment. Liam smiled, his arm around her. I'm glad you like it. I thought it would be the perfect place for us to get away for a while. Emma turned her head to look at him, her heart swelling with affection. It's perfect, she whispered. The evening passed in a comfortable silence, the only sound being the rustling of leaves in the wind. As they sat together, Emma felt more connected to Liam than ever before. It was in moments like this, away from the distractions of daily life, that she realized how much she truly cared for him. She could see a future with him, one filled with love, laughter, and shared adventures. But just as she was beginning to feel completely at ease, Liam spoke, his tone serious. Emma, there's something I need to tell you, he said quietly. Emma looked up at him, her heart suddenly racing. What is it? She asked, sensing the change in his demeanor. Liam took a deep breath, his gaze meeting hers. I've been holding something back, and I think it's time I tell you, he continued, his voice steady but filled with a hint of uncertainty. I didn't want to bring it up before, but I think it's important you know. Emma felt a twinge of worry. Liam, you're scaring me. What's going on? Liam hesitated for a moment before speaking again. I've been keeping something from you about my family, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. I'm not just some tech entrepreneur. My family has a lot of money, and they expect a lot from me. It's been a huge part of my life that I've tried to keep separate, but I don't want to hide it from you anymore. Emma was silent for a moment, processing what he had said. She had always known Liam was successful, but she had never imagined that his family's wealth was such a huge factor in his life. Why didn't you tell me this before? She asked softly, her mind racing. I don't know, Liam admitted, his voice filled with regret. I guess I was afraid you might think I was just like them, using money to control everything. But I want you to know that I'm not. I've worked hard to build what I have, and I want to share it with you, but only if you're okay with it. Emma took a deep breath, trying to make sense of everything. She hadn't expected this, but as she looked at Liam, she saw the sincerity in his eyes. She could see how much he cared about her, and she knew that his feelings for her were real. I'm not going to judge you for what your family has, she said softly. What matters to me is who you are, and I know who you are, Liam. You've always been kind, thoughtful, and real with me, and that's what I care about. The rest, it's just part of your story. Liam's eyes softened as he reached out and took her hand in his. Thank you, he whispered, his voice full of relief. I was afraid you might walk away when I told you. Emma smiled gently, squeezing his hand. I'm not going anywhere, she said, her voice full of warmth. I'm with you, Liam. No matter what. They sat together in silence, the weight of the conversation slowly lifting from their shoulders. Emma realized that this was just another step in their journey, and whatever came next, they would face it together. For the first time in a long time, she felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. As the months passed, Emma and Liam's relationship continued to grow stronger. They had faced challenges, moments of doubt, and misunderstandings, but each time they came together, they emerged more united, more certain of their feelings. Liam had kept his promise to be open and honest with her, and Emma had done the same. They had built something real, a bond that was grounded in trust, support, and love. Emma's art career was taking off, with more opportunities coming her way, and she was finally starting to feel like the future she had always dreamed of was within her reach. She had started her own art studio, a small space filled with her paintings, sketches, and the things that inspired her. It wasn't much yet, but it was a start, and that was enough. Liam had been there every step of the way, helping her with everything, from setting up the studio to offering advice about how to navigate the business side of things. He had become not only her partner in life but also her greatest supporter. They had come to understand each other's dreams, fears, and hopes for the future, and together, they were building a life filled with possibility. One evening, as they sat on the couch in their apartment, enjoying a quiet moment together, Liam turned to Emma, his eyes soft and serious. There's something I've been thinking about, he said, his voice quiet. Emma looked up from the book she had been reading, her heart skipping a beat. What is it? She asked, setting the book down and giving him her full attention. Liam reached for her hand, his fingers brushing against hers as he took a deep breath. I know we've been through a lot together, and I want you to know that I'm not going anywhere. I love you, Emma, he said, his voice steady but full of emotion. And I want to build a future with you, not just in art or business, but in life. Emma's heart raced at his words. She had always known, deep down, that Liam was the one for her, but hearing him say it out loud made everything feel so real. I love you too, she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. I can't imagine my life without you in it. Liam smiled, his eyes bright. Then let's make this official, he said, his voice full of warmth. I want to marry you, Emma. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Emma's breath caught in her throat, and for a moment, everything around her seemed to fade away. She had never imagined this moment would come, but now that it was here, she realized she had always wanted it. She looked into Liam's eyes, seeing the sincerity and love that radiated from him. Yes, she said, her voice filled with certainty. Yes, I'll marry you. Liam's face lit up with a smile so bright it made Emma's heart swell. He pulled her into his arms, holding her close, as they both laughed in the pure joy of the moment. In that instant, Emma realized that everything they had gone through, every challenge, every doubt, had led them to this moment, and it was perfect. They had come so far, and they were just getting started. A few weeks later, they stood together in a small, intimate ceremony, surrounded by close friends and family. It wasn't a grand affair, but to Emma, it was everything she had ever dreamed of. As she exchanged vows with Liam, promising to love, support, and stand by him for the rest of her life, she felt an overwhelming sense of peace. This was the beginning of their forever, and she couldn't wait to see what the future held. After the ceremony, as they walked hand in hand down the aisle, Liam squeezed her hand and smiled. This is just the start, Emma, he said, his voice full of excitement. The best is yet to come. Emma looked up at him, her heart full, knowing that whatever the future held, they would face it together. And in that moment, she realized that the love they had built was more than enough to carry them through anything life threw their way. Together, they were unstoppable, and she couldn't wait for the adventure that lay ahead. The end of their story was just the beginning, and Emma knew that no matter where life took them, they would always have each other. Millionaire stories often captivate our imaginations, filled with moments of personal growth, transformation, and unexpected love. In this heartfelt tale, Emma, an aspiring artist, finds herself caught between self-doubt and the support of a man who believes in her more than she believes in herself. As Emma's life takes an unexpected turn, she realizes that with the encouragement of Liam, a millionaire who has his own struggles with family expectations, she can overcome her fears and pursue her dreams. These millionaire stories aren't just about wealth, they are about the power of human connection, trust, and support. Liam helps Emma see her own potential, not only in her art but in love. As their relationship develops, Emma discovers that the real treasures in life aren't just material wealth but the love and encouragement of someone who truly cares. Through their journey together, they face challenges and make sacrifices, ultimately realizing that the life they're building is worth more than anything money can buy. This millionaire story is a perfect example of how love, support, and belief in each other can turn dreams into reality. Their journey proves that the most valuable things in life cannot be bought, they must be earned, nurtured, and cherished. In the end, Emma's story is a testament to the life-changing power of love and the transformative impact a supportive partner can have. From self-doubt to self-empowerment, Emma's journey showcases the beauty of millionaire stories that go beyond wealth, focusing instead on what truly matters: personal growth, connection, and unconditional love. 1. In a cozy cafe, Emma and Liam are seated at a small, intimate table by the window. The scene has a cinematic feel with soft, warm lighting from nearby street lamps outside, casting gentle shadows on their faces. Emma, a young woman with a soft, warm smile, wears a light sweater and simple jeans, her hair flowing loosely around her shoulders. She looks at Liam with curiosity, her eyes bright and her hands resting lightly on the table. Liam, a confident, attractive man with strong features and a sharp jawline, is dressed in a well-fitted jacket and casual shirt, exuding a calm, composed presence. Their connection is clear in the way they smile at each other, the spark of mutual interest beginning to form. Liam leans slightly forward, his expression relaxed but focused on Emma, creating an inviting and intimate atmosphere. The camera captures their subtle expressions and the comfortable space between them, with the soft glow of the cafe lights adding warmth to the scene. 2. Emma, in a modest cafe, wears an apron over her outfit as she serves a table with a soft but warm smile. Her face shows a slight exhaustion, yet she carries a quiet grace in her movements. The camera catches her in mid-action, balancing a tray of drinks with her other hand resting lightly on the counter. The scene is quiet but busy in the background, with patrons chatting softly. The lighting is simple, reflecting the everyday nature of her work, yet Emma's presence stands out, her eyes occasionally glancing at the door, as if she's waiting for something more. This scene captures her as someone caught between her present routine and the dreams she quietly nurtures inside. 3. Liam is in a sleek office space, dressed sharply in a suit that complements his broad shoulders. He stands by a desk, talking on the phone with an intense focus, his posture straight and his face showing the weight of responsibility. The lighting is harsh, emphasizing the sharp lines of his features and the serious nature of his work. He looks out the window for a moment, briefly lost in thought, as the camera zooms in on his contemplative expression. The scene contrasts his professional success with a sense of solitude, hinting at his inner struggle and the pressure he carries in his high-stakes world. 4. Emma and Liam are in an art gallery together, standing near an exhibit. Emma, dressed in a soft blouse and jeans, points toward a piece of art, her face animated as she talks passionately. Liam, in a simple yet stylish outfit, listens intently, his eyes focused on her as he takes in her excitement. The camera catches the subtle interaction between them, a small laugh from Emma, a slight smile from Liam. The atmosphere is relaxed, filled with appreciation for both the art and the connection growing between them. Their chemistry is evident in the way they engage with each other, creating a moment of warmth amidst the quiet elegance of the gallery. 5. Emma sits alone in her apartment late at night, her face illuminated only by the soft light of a desk lamp. She holds a sketchbook in her lap, her fingers tracing the edges of the pages. Her expression conflicted. The room is cluttered with unfinished sketches and personal items, showing both her dedication to her art and the struggle to believe in herself. The camera focuses on her face, capturing the quiet doubt that lingers in her eyes. Her posture is slouched, a visible contrast to the confidence she projects in her everyday life. This scene emphasizes her internal conflict as she questions her worth and her place in the world. 6. On a rooftop restaurant, the city skyline glimmers in the background as Liam and Emma sit at a table. Liam, dressed in a well-tailored suit, leans forward slightly as he speaks, his tone sincere. Emma, dressed in an elegant yet simple dress, listens intently, her eyes soft as she takes in his words. The warm glow from nearby lights reflects off their faces, creating a romantic and intimate atmosphere. Liam's expression is filled with genuine emotion as he opens up to her, and Emma's response is one of understanding, with a hint of vulnerability. The scene captures the turning point in their relationship, where trust and openness are beginning to form a deeper bond. 7. At a large gala event, Emma stands nervously among a crowd of well-dressed guests. Her eyes scan the room, and she glances toward Liam, who stands by her side, offering her silent support. The camera captures Emma's discomfort and the contrast between her modest dress and the opulence around her. Liam, looking confident in a tuxedo, stands protectively beside her, his hand resting reassuringly on her shoulder. The tension in the scene rises, with Emma trying to navigate the high society world she doesn't feel part of. The camera pans over their faces, focusing on Emma's mixed emotions, both awe and anxiety, as she stands by Liam, unsure of her place in this world. 8. Emma and Liam stand together on a picturesque lakeside, holding hands. The soft sunlight glows around them as Liam kneels, offering Emma a simple yet beautiful engagement ring. Emma, looking down at him with a mix of surprise and overwhelming emotion, smiles brightly as tears glisten in her eyes. The camera captures the intimate moment, focusing on their faces as they share this life-changing decision. The surrounding nature reflects the peaceful, promising future ahead. In the background, the soft colors of the sky and water symbolize hope and new beginnings, marking the culmination of their journey. The moment is filled with joy, love, and the beginning of their forever.